everybody. We're gonna get started with today's rally. This is such a beautiful group that is out here on a very cold day. Thank you. My name is Arti Walker-Peddakotla, A-R-T-I, W-A-L-K-E-R, P-E-D-D-A-K-O-T-L-A, and I am board chair of About Face Veterans Against the War, and I'm also a member of the Military Law Task Force. My remarks are going to be short because we have a lot of speakers lined up today. But I wanted to take a moment and talk about the history of this rally and why we are here as veterans who are all standing behind me saying no to federal cuts, no to ICE, and no to the occupation of our cities.
That's right.
50 years ago, veterans from Vietnam, Veterans Against the War, started the first of these Veterans Day rallies in Chicago. Before there was even a memorial for Vietnam veterans in Chicago. And Vietnam veterans continued to hold these rallies even as Mayor Delia tore down the original Vietnam Veterans Memorial and then rebuilt it. And then ever since this Veterans Memorial has been here, we have held these rallies here. So Vietnam Veterans Against the War, followed by Iraq Veterans Against the War, which transformed into About Face Veterans Against the War, has held down this spot for 50 years.
Woo! Too many wars.
We have been holding this spot while the other rally happens at Soldier Field, where soldiers, we get thanked for our service, but we as veterans are getting tired of getting thanked for our service by a country that continues to occupy our communities, to disinvest from our very people, and to disenfranchise the very people that we serve to protect.
That's right. That's right.
So on this Veterans Day, when the Chicago chapter of About Face started planning this Veterans Day rally, we knew we had to do it differently. Because we are in a time where militarism is being enacted through border imperialism, where the border is here in our communities, and ICE is here occupying our communities, and threats of National Guard occupying our communities are here. And so we joined together with Mayday Strong, with unions, with labor organizers, with community organizers, with so many groups to say no to ICE.
That's right. No to ICE.
No cuts. Repeat after me. No cuts.
No cuts.
No ICE.
No ICE.
No occupation.
No occupation.
No cuts.
No cuts.
No ICE.
No ICE.
No occupation.
No occupation.
About Face Veterans Against the War uses the term radical reorientation to describe the turn that GI resistors make away from serving U.S. empire and being in solidarity with all people in our community. That is the turn that I urge all of us to make today and every day moving forward. What is one action that you can take that withdraws your consent from the war machine? What is one action that you can take that reorients yourself into solidarity with our community? Today, we're going to hear from organizers, from veterans, and some of our strongest political leaders. Listen to their words, heed their calls for solidarity, and act on their vision for a more liberated future. To start us off, we have Congresswoman, one of the best Congresswomen that we have, and politically radical Congresswoman that we have in Congress, Congresswoman Delia Ramirez.
I think it's really important for every single person throughout the buildings that we're surrounded to hear us very loud and clear. So I'm gonna read us a quick chant to say what we just said a moment ago. And we said that we don't want ICE, no ICE, No cuts and no occupation, right? Are you ready? If you scream, you get warmer. So we're going to do it right now. No ice!
No ice!
No occupation!
No occupation!
No ice, no cuts, no occupation!
No ice, no cuts, no occupation! No ice, no cuts, no occupation!
That's right. I hope y'all heard us, because we're not going anywhere. Friends, as you heard, I am Delia Adelena Ramirez, born and raised in the city of Chicago, the city of community organizing. And I am a proud daughter of Guatemalan immigrants. I'm a citizen by birthright, despite the fact that that president is trying to take that away from us. I'm the wife of an incredible man that up until last October was a dreamer, a DACA recipient. And I am the congresista from a welcoming district that understands that our collective liberation is going to come when we actually acknowledge the purpose and need for multicultural, multi-generation coalition. By acknowledging that these last months have been incredibly painful. But I want to make sure that people understand this. Everything that is happening, the cuts to services Americans rely on, the mass detention and deportation, the attacks on human rights offenders, the death and displacement of the Palestinian people, the militarization of our cities, and the threats against our neighbors is all interconnected. From Palestine to Chicago, unaccountable leaders are waging connected campaigns of terror against our neighbors, against our families, and against our loved ones. They're attempting to be able to advance their fascist agenda, casting others, whether they're Honduran, Palestinian, Venezolanos, Haitians, Syrians, Nigerians, as a public enemy, and silencing dissent is what they want to do. They want to rob our children and our generations of families of opportunity to have a thriving, successful, healthy future. Why? So that they can enrich their greedy-ass billionaire friends and donors. Oh yeah, and I have a bill for that too.
Yeah.
Leaders and wannabe kings want our resources, they want our land, they want our freedoms, and they want our rights. They want our lives so they can advance their imperialistic authoritarian agendas across the world. They think that they're going to be able to confuse us. They think that they're going to be able to divide us, paralyze us, isolate us, and silence us. But when I look around here, are people paralyzed?
No!
Are people isolated?
No!
Are people confused?
No!
We are clearer than ever. And as a ranking member of Oversight and Investigation Subcommittee in the Veteran Affairs Committee and the proud representative of 20,727 veterans in my district, I'm proud to stand with you today. I'm proud to stand with community who understands how interconnected our struggles are. Republicans moved a Trump budget that would lead to starvation, to displacement, and to death at home for so many Americans, while infusing $150 billion in the Department of Terror called Department of Homeland Security. DHS is out of control. It's a terror force that disregards the law, that rejects accountability, and tramples on the very foundations of this Constitution. Noam and Trump have abused their power. They're trying to strip asylum protections. They're trying to deport legal residents, including USA citizens without due process. They put humans in facilities where there is worms in the food, toilets that don't flush, disease-bearing insects threatening the well-being of people that look like me, people that could be my own family. They're trying to deport immigrants to third countries like South Sudan, disappear immigrants, and do everything they can to try to break us, but they will not break us. Am I right?
Yes!
Am I right?
Yes!
So look, it is despicable what they're doing. And it's why I want to make sure that people understand that whether it's Chicago, Palestine, Venezuela, or Sudan, our struggles are in fact interconnected. And we are going to say hell no to any budget or any folder, any person caving in this moment that is unwilling to have the moral courage to say no ICE, no cuts, no occupation. And it is why I have voted against the military aid for Israel, why I am the lead sponsor of Block the Bombs bill to get bombs out of Palestine. And it's also why we have to address the out-of-control abuse of terror force set loose by this administration. It's why I'm the proud co-sponsor of the No Secret Police Act bill that basically says if you're law enforcement, we want to know who you are and want to see your face. And every single member of Congress, but especially Democrats, should be on that bill. There's only about 100 of them, so call your congressperson to make sure they're on it. We also have the bill Protecting Sensitive Locations Act, a bill that basically states what we already know. Hospitals, schools, churches, daycare centers, they are sensitive locations that should be protected and sacred. There's about 110 Democrats on it, and as of tomorrow, there will be 215 members of Congress in the Democratic Party. Every single Democrat should be on that bill.
That's right.
So look, it is cold and I need to stop talking, but I want to tell you about a bill that I just introduced yesterday. And it's for our veterans. It's for our communities. And if I can flip the page with this glove, it'll happen. I just reintroduced the Right to Representation for VA Workers Act, which codifies VA employees' right to have a representative during any investigation. This bill is about ensuring that workers are protected from intimidation and unfair disciplinary action. So I want you to know this. A lot of people love hashtags. A lot of people in this moment might feel like they're being opportunistic when they see that the tides are turning. But you and I know that more than ever, we need members of Congress, local elected officials, and leaders across the city and the country who are willing to be authentic and do what is right when it's popular and when it's not popular. We need to be able to call Homeland Security what it is, a threat to the homeland and a threat to every one of us. They are a force of terror, and it is our responsibility not to make excuses about being in the minority, but to be the party of opposition. Opposition to fascism, opposition to Kristi Noem, opposition to Donald Trump, opposition to Pavina, opposition to every one of them. And to say, not in my name, not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Because we will hold them accountable, and we're going to do it together. So say it with me one more time. No ICE, no ICE, no occupation,
No occupation.
no cuts, no occupation, no ICE,
No cuts. No occupation.
Thank you, everyone. No ICE, no cuts, and no occupation.
I'm sorry.
Oh, she's gone that way. She's gone that way. Can I say one thing in Spanish? I just realized, sorry. Disculpa. Solamente quería decir que estamos aquí con la comunidad veterana en esta mañana, aquí diciendo lo que es muy importante, que todo lo que está pasando a nuestros veteranos, a nuestras comunidades, a la familia, está interconectado. Y en este momento tenemos a veteranos que están diciendo, en mi nombre no vas a usar mi nombre para guerra, no vas a usar mi nombre para justificar lo que esta agencia terrorista está haciendo por medio de ICE y Kristi Noem. En mi nombre no vas a justificar lo que está pasando en Palestina o Venezuela. Estamos todos juntos, interconectados, asegurándonos que la justicia venga, porque nosotros trabajaremos para esa justicia. Por eso estamos aquí celebrando a nuestros veteranos, celebrando a la comunidad y diciendo, no ICE, no va a haber cortes a los recursos y tampoco vamos a apoyar que continúen quitando la tierra a la gente palestina. Gracias.
Thank you so much to the Congresswoman. Next we have Blaha, is an Illinois National Guard member who recently spoke out about refusing deployment orders if the Illinois National Guard gets deployed. Dylan, please come up.
Thank you all for being here. Can you guys hear me in the back? All right. My name's Blaha, and I'm a former cancer research scientist, and more importantly, an anti-imperialist veteran. I'm also running for Congress in Illinois' 13th district to change the system, because the system is broken. This system takes away health care to give tax cuts to billionaires. This system provides weapons to a country openly committing a genocide. This system starts endless wars for imperialist gain. Today, we say no to endless wars. We say no to ICE in our streets. We say no to the constant attacks on veterans in this country. I've served in the Illinois Army National Guard for almost 13 years, including 5 years on active duty. In Afghanistan, I worked alongside Afghan medical leaders to improve their medical systems. And I also worked alongside a golden hour offset surgical team as we performed countless surgeries. In Germany, I worked alongside some of the top US and NATO military medical planners as we supported Ukraine and helped write their NATO war plans. President Trump has openly threatened our American cities, including Los Angeles, Chicago, and Portland. In response, I made a series of videos asking our military service members to remember their oath to the American people and to the Constitution. I asked soldiers to disobey any future unlawful orders, as they are required to do. In response, the military suspended my security clearance and initiated a 15-6 investigation. This is not normal. This is political persecution. Because I spoke out against our fascist government. Since then, I've continued to speak out because I believe in doing what's right. I will not be, as I said in that CBS interview with Staff Sergeant Aimee Potter, I will not be used as a pawn and deployed against my community. I will not assist Trump's Gestapo, known as ICE, as they rip our community members from our streets. That's right. Make no mistake, the time to stand up is now. We're running out of time, Chicago. There are no guardrails for what's left of our democracy. Every day, they get bolder and bolder. White Christian nationalists and billionaires continue to enact their vision of the future, but I say fuck that future. America is for the workers and not the billionaires. America is for all people, regardless of their race, gender identity, religion, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or the color of their skin. It is on us to protect our neighbors. We can't sit back and expect someone to do it for us. It's on us to stand up to fascism. We cannot give up our rights in advance. It's on us to convince Congress to kick that motherfucker out of the White House. This has gone on for long enough. It's time to take our country back. And last, I want to say, there were two of us who spoke out. The other one is Aimee Potter. She's not speaking today, but I encourage you to say hello. She is here, and thank her for her service. Thank you all for your service. Thank you.
Next up, we have one of the most ardent and passionate advocates for working people in the city of Chicago, the new president of the Illinois Federation of Teachers, and the president of the Chicago Teachers Union, Stacy.
Yo, what's up, Chicago? Make some noise, Chicago! Last night I read a report that Donald Trump said his troops are no longer needed in Chicago.
Yeah. Get them out! They can't stand the cold.
Listen, it is always an honor to be in the presence of heroes. People who come from the working class. People who know what it's like to miss a meal, to not meet rent on time.
To not get paid.
To not get paid. And those people have sacrificed their lives for our security. So I want to take a moment and appreciate their humanity, their sacrifice, and their service. Thank you. You see, my husband is a veteran. He served in the first Gulf War. My grandfathers were veterans. My uncles are veterans. My cousins are veterans. I come from a family, an ancestry of people who fought for a country that did not fight for them. You see, it was enslaved Africans that broke the backs of the Confederacy by walking off plantations and taking up arms against fascism. You see, black people have used our armed spaces to make sure that they could fight for the democracy that they were not given but aspired to have. It was Medgar Evers who left World War II after seeing the respect that black soldiers received in the French army, and he said then that he was coming back to America to make sure not only did black soldiers get that level of respect, but all black people. So today I stand with veterans who, and the legacy of Medgar Evers, and the legacy of enslaved Africans are saying that this country does not belong to a king. That's right. I stand in solidarity with the veterans who are saying that fascism has no place in a democracy. That's right. I am standing with veterans who are saying that billionaires get to pay their fair share too. I am standing with veterans who are saying that it's tax the rich and rid our city of ICE. I am standing with veterans who understand what it means to sacrifice for something that you don't enjoy but aspire to have. I am standing with working people. I am standing with the people of Chicago to say no to militarism, no to fascism, and no to working people bearing the load of this city, this county, and this state, and this country. Billionaires get to say yes to. Billionaires get to pay taxes too. Billionaires get to be as patriotic as all of these people here are today. So I want to ask you veterans, I want to ask you workers, for your solidarity as we demonstrate, as we organize, as we clarify the principles of this country, that it is freedom, that it is democracy, that it is solidarity that moves us, not disunity, not exclusion, and certainly not ICE. Power to the people.
Thank you, Stacy Davis Gates, CTU, as always. Next up is Aimee Potter. Is Aimee around here? Hey, Aimee. Aimee from the American Federation of Government Employees. Aimee is a VA worker and one of the strongest about-face supporters that we have. Come on.
Labor strong!
On this Veterans Day, we honor all veterans, including and always my good friend Barry Romo. Barry fought in Vietnam where he lost his brother, and he came home determined to fight for peace. He was a force of nature, someone who could connect with anyone even when they disagreed. I miss his voice, his fire, his heart, and I think of him today because this day is not about the free coffee or restaurant discounts. It's about showing up for each other. It's about taking care of each other. It's about standing together. Veterans, caregivers, workers, families, neighbors, and saying, we will not be divided. We will not be silenced. Look around. This is what solidarity looks like. People from every walk of life standing shoulder to shoulder saying enough. Enough of authoritarianism, enough of cruelty, enough of policies that harm our communities. And as a social worker, my first rule is simple: do no harm. Help people find stability, help them heal. If our government followed that same rule, this country would be a lot healthier. Instead, we're watching an administration attack our union rights And make no mistake, that's a direct attack on veterans. We're told to do more with less, see more veterans with fewer staff, and that means less care, less time, less safety. And when the system breaks, they point and say, see, we told you government doesn't work. Then they hand more money to private contractors. Almost 1 in 3 VA employees is a veteran, so when they union bust, they're busting veterans. When they underfund care, they're undercutting veterans. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Tupac said, we got money for wars but can't feed the poor. Well, we got billions for ICE and endless wars. But we're told we can't afford mental health care, housing, or fair staffing for the VA. That's not just bad budgeting, that's moral failure. We reject that. We reject policies that oppress our veterans, our workers, and our families. We reject fear. We stand for unity, justice, and care. We will not back down. We will not disappear. We will show up loudly, proudly, and together because this fight is not over. My stepdad, Pete, he was a Teamster labor activist and one of the founders of Teamsters for a Democratic Union. Democracy movement, organizing to reform the International Brotherhood of Teamsters. And at the age of 29, he was the solo TDU-affiliated delegate to the 1976 Teamster Convention, where he spoke out against the International Brotherhood, and he was then beaten unconscious for his opposition. And as Pete always said, carry it on.
All right, next up we have Joanne Gutierrez from the Chicago Teachers Union. She's an occupational therapist and a veteran.
Hi, I'm Joanne Gutierrez, a clinician delegate for the Chicago Teachers Union, an occupational therapist, and Army Reserve veteran. I served in the Army Reserves for more than 20 years as a combat medic. During that time, I learned lessons about leadership, compassion, and what it means to serve something greater than yourself. Even though I've retired from the Army, I still live by the values that guided my service: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. They remind me that service doesn't end when the uniform comes off. It continues every day in how I treat others and stand up for what's right. I'm here today to practice one of those values, personal courage. By speaking up and challenging injustice, I am choosing integrity over convenience. Because I know that silence in the face of wrongdoing isn't neutrality, it's complicity. That's right. As service members, we swore an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That's right. That oath still matters and requires all of our courage to defend it. Today, I see courage every day in my school community. I'm an occupational therapist at Hamline Elementary in the back of the yards neighborhood. Woo! Last year, immigration agents came to our school and our staff followed the sanctuary school protocols and denied them entry. The school showed courage by standing firm and protecting our students and their families from the agents of intimidation. Because here's the truth, ICE agents took an oath too, an oath to uphold the Constitution and protect people's rights. But when they intimidate families and separate children from their parents, they break that oath. They abandon the very values of respect and integrity they swore to uphold. And that's why what our staff did matters so much. It takes real courage to live your values when it's easier to look away. Our staff didn't back down. Our staff stood up. They chose compassion and service by delivering food and pooling their resources to families that were too afraid to leave their home. They stand out in the neighborhoods to watch for ICE activity so the students feel safe to come to school. As I speak up for those seeking safety and justice in our country, I want to speak up for veterans and working class families that are also struggling to get by. Access to full and robust education are being denied through education budget cuts. and over 1 million veterans and thousands of active duty and reserve service members are being denied full SNAP benefits, the same benefits that help feed their families, while the ultra-wealthy and corporation continue to receive tax breaks. Other states have adopted fair tax laws to fund schools and communities. Illinois needs to do the same. We must choose people over profit, families over politics, and justice over convenience. The rich can't afford to pay more in taxes.
That's right. That's right.
So today, on Veterans Day, whether you're military or civilian, let's remember what service truly means. Let's live out the values of integrity, respect, and personal courage. Let's stand up for what's right when it's hard. Let's protect the rights and dignity of every person in this country. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. Next up, we have Nick Podjasek from SEIU Healthcare. He's a VA healthcare provider and a veteran.
Union strong!
Good morning. My name is Nick Podjasek. I am an United States Air Force veteran. I was a B-52 avionics technician. And I'm currently a mental health and addictions worker at the VA. And through my union, SEIU Healthcare, I fight for my fellow veterans and the kind of care they need, and for the working conditions for myself and my coworkers that make that care possible. So, cool, sorry. So I use the VA to make my way through my own addictions, homelessness, and mental health struggles. The staff provided excellent care to me to help me through all of those things and eventually navigate my way to being independently housed, stable with my mental health and substance use, and having full-time employment, right? And that's kind of what got me into this career field, leaving the technology and engineering, right? So that's the special kind of care that's provided by the VA, informed by the real and complex needs of veterans and often provided by veterans. And we fight for better care through our union, right? We've already lost so much. The quality and accessibility of care and services, jobs lost, short staffing, and care outsourced and at a lower quality. The right of VA workers to union representation and the ways that help protect veterans and the quality of services that we receive is so important. People are becoming more and more demoralized every day, right, as they continue to cut staff quality and accessibility. And so the newly renamed Department of War is calling for an increase in U.S. military aggression in ways that could send current service members into active, prolonged conflict at the same time the VA is being weakened and failing the veterans currently being served. What will happen to new veterans returning from conflict with an urgent need for comprehensive care, right? And with ICE threats, ICE not only has been targeting people just because they are brown-skinned or speak Spanish, but they have also detained a lot of veterans. I'm myself brown-skinned, and I was not born in this country. I've been a citizen my whole life, but I was born in Honduras, right? And so with my VA that I received my primary care at hosting parking spaces for ICE, I declined to go to my own primary care appointment, right? That's too much nonsense for me to deal with in my personal life, right? And I'm not the only one. Staff members are carrying their passports to and from work, which is a little bit ridiculous. And other veterans are also feeling threatened by ICE's presence on the campus, right? So the attacks are to divide and conquer working people, going after brown, black, Spanish-speaking, low-income, and people needing and using services, which also includes veterans and VA staff members, and then going after unions because that's how workers have power, right? We're tired of the money and resources being diverted away from critical services to fund things like, ICE and billionaires who do not need any more. And so how we fight back is we refuse to be divided. We stand together in solidarity and we take action, whatever action you can take. Different people have different risk profiles, but we can all do something. It doesn't matter how big or small, it's all a part of the same fight. And we must do the most that we can and take care of one another, right? Because even if the government fails you, your community does not have to, right? So thank you.
No ICE?
No ICE!
No cuts?
No cuts!
No occupation.
No occupation!
Next up, we have Jordan Esparza-Kelley from the Council on, next up we have Adelena and Marshall, I'm so sorry, from National Nurses United and a VA healthcare worker.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for inviting me to speak here today. As I look out over the crowd, I want you all to know, as veterans, that as a VA nurse, that I know the impact that war and service has had on our veterans.
Right.
Our word that I see is no, but we also have to remember solidarity is what's going to get us through this. Solidarity means all of us. Our nurses from NNU have always been a voice for our veterans at the VA. We represent nurses at other facilities, but we're also at 23 other VAs. Recently, the unions were supposedly busted, but we're not. We're still here. We're still going to be a voice for our veterans, and our nurses are committed to our veterans. However, every day that I go to work, it is a challenge because I don't know who's going to be there. While we were not furloughed because of us being nurses, our nurses are leaving, and it's very difficult for us to attract other medical personnel. We have doctors, social workers, everyone who have been dedicated to our veterans. Just because of the intimidation that's going on at the VA with the staff, that is very difficult for many of them to stay. Many of them have reached the point where they can retire, and they are retiring. I am staying. I am not going to run. I'm going to stay there, and I'm going to fight. One of the words that I hear recently is we have to follow or report to chain of command. My chain of command is my veterans. I will always speak up and speak out on their behalf no matter what. Just recently, we were staffed with one staff member per unit. There's 2 units that I work with. Each unit has a locked door. They want to say that's 1 unit. But when we have veterans who can't breathe, who need emergency care, who may need our attention right away, I can't take the time to try to get through and leave those veterans behind to go across the hall to see another veteran. So yes, we are going to fight, and no, we are not going to stay quiet. Right. We are going to speak out, and we are going to work in solidarity with every American citizen who is there and who understands what our veterans have gone through and what they have done for this country. And the unions remain strong. While we may not be on site at the VA, we're on outside. We are everywhere that the public is. Our nurses, our doctors, our social workers, they are in your community. They are your neighbors. They are your friends. And we will continue to say no and to remain in solidarity with our veterans. Thank you very much.
Slap the VA!
Aaron, do you want to explain? So we're gonna, while our next 2 speakers come up, and our last 2 speakers, we're gonna start passing out flowers that we'll be using at Federal Plaza later on, after the march. Second to last speaker is Jordan Esparza-Kelley from the Council on American-Islamic Relations.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining us in this cold. Let me lift this up because I know the people in the back have some. How we doing? Last year I was at this same rally, and let me tell you that this has grown in size by easily 3 to 5 times. The anti-militarism movement in America is alive and well. And looking out into the crowd, I see a very important banner in the back, calling right now for no war on Venezuela. As U.S. warships, rest on the coast of South America and have been plundering the Latin American continent for decades. For what? Right? To expand the billionaire agenda. And oftentimes, behind closed doors, to fund and supply a global drug trade that brings America fentanyl crisis, that brings America heroin crisis, addictions, oftentimes. Standing with the veterans who are turning against war is one of the most important things we can do, because to defect, symbolically, from America is a scary choice, right? So we here support the anti-militarism movement. We love that it's alive and well in Chicago, and we're not going to stop until militarism here stops, until we can get the people and end the occupation of Palestine, so we can bring the warships off the coast of South America, so we can end AFRICOM, because the U.S. military is on every continent. Unfortunately, they're bullying every continent, and we have to recollect our resources. Pardon my coldness. Recollect our resources from the people who have been stealing them, giving them to billionaires, leaving people without essential health care, essential benefits, and now they've wasted the money that was contingent for food stamps via the SNAP program. So I thank you all for joining us today, and keep fighting and keep standing on the right side of things. And next year, this rally will be spilling out into the streets. Thank you.
All right, last up is Mohamed Yasin from the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights and Arab American Family Services.
Morning, Chicago! All right, I have some exciting news for you. So we had reports that ICE is leaving our city this week, and they say maybe today because it's too cold for them. But as a great man, but as my great friend Chris said, that it is the resistance of the people that turned up the heat and melted ice. I have a long speech for you, but I'm not going to read it out because I have very important things to say to you. ICE has been lying about community members being violent towards them. The weapons that our community members have been carrying is their cell phones and whistles, so that it can alert our communities of these abductors when they're coming into our communities. And this is the work of the local rapid response teams. So this is what I encourage everybody to do. If you see something, say something. Call the Family Support Network hotline. The family support hotline number is 855-435-7693. Let's say it together. 855-435-7693. This number has been very critical to documenting all ICE activity in our areas. As the judge saw the videos that was recorded by rapid response team members, she saw the lies and that ICE agents were spreading and Greg Bovino was spreading. So we are not violent criminals. They are the violent criminals that are coming to our city. This administration has been the violent criminals that have been spreading a lot of Islamophobia and homophobia and xenophobia and spreading lies about how the people have been attacking their ICE agents. So we say no to ICE, no to occupation, no to war in Venezuela. Vets say no. We say, look at these beautiful signs around you, and you see it's the people over profit. It is no wars. We don't want any of this occupation in our cities, not in our American cities. And just like JFK said, when the rights of one man is threatened, the rights of everybody is diminished. So this is what I encourage you to do. Call the hotline number, record every activity you see, because it is important that the people that record, we keep us safe. It is the people that record these events, and it's the people that hold this administration accountable. So who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
Thank you very much. Again, my name is Mohamed Yasin from the Arab American Family Services.
All right, y'all, we made it through the end of our speakers. Thank you so much for coming out.